The cameras flashed, the crowd froze, and just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
Oh, absolutely. It happens in the blink of an eye.
Right. But sometimes, the loudest people in the room are fighting the quietest battles behind the scenes. Welcome to Starscope Report.
Join Jordan and Jamie, that is us, as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to massive social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And if you are loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you are subscribed. We have got some truly crazy stories ahead.
We really do. So the foundation of today's deep dive is based on a wildly emotional headline. The title of the story that we are looking at is Keke Palmer's heartbreaking message after her ex-boyfriend died.
Which, honestly, was just so jarring to see pop up on the timeline.
It really was. I mean, if you close your eyes right now and picture Keke Palmer, the very first thing you probably hear is that laugh.
Oh, that massive, infectious laugh. It literally takes up the whole room.
Exactly. She has built this entire decades-long brand on being like the most vibrant, invincible person on any screen she is on.
Yeah, she is just pure energy.
But recently, that loud, joyful noise was completely eclipsed by this really deafening silence. 31-year-old Keke posted a deeply jarring, heartbreaking tribute to her teenage ex-boyfriend.
A young man named Brandon.
Right. And he just passed away from complications of sickle cell anemia.
And seeing that post, it just stops the endless, cynical scroll of celebrity news. It was profound.
It really made you pause.
Because it wasn't filtered through a publicist. There was no PR spin, no carefully drafted statement. It was just raw, unguarded grief sitting right there in the open.
Which is exactly why we are unpacking this today. We have gathered a really fascinating stack of sources for you. We are pulling from Keke's recent social media tributes, and we are examining highly revealing excerpts from her brand new memoir, Master of Me.
Such a good book, by the way.
Oh, incredibly revealing. And we are also digging into the lyrics and the production of her brand new 18-track visual album, Just Keke.
So our mission today is to move past the simple tragedy of a news headline. We want to explore the profound duality of growing up famous.
Right. We're looking at how Keke is currently processing this devastating personal loss while she is simultaneously reclaiming her public narrative.
After years of hidden, incredibly dark struggles, honestly.
And highly scrutinized relationship drama. Okay, so let's unpack this. The story of Keke and Brandon, it shatters that persistent optical illusion we all buy into regarding child stars.
Oh, definitely. We assume that because they are surrounded by entourages, they must be incredibly connected.
Like they have all these friends and this massive support system. But let's look at the reality Keke described in her tribute. She wrote, "I found out last night. I think I was in shock. I cannot believe Sickle took you from us."
And just for some context here, sickle cell anemia is a brutal, lifelong blood disorder.
It is awful.
It causes immense pain crises, severe fatigue, long-term organ damage. Carrying that physical burden is exhausting for anyone.
Let alone a teenager just trying to navigate life.
Exactly.
And to really understand the weight of this loss for Keke, you have to understand how they met. By the time Keke was 16, she had completely stopped attending regular school.
Right, because she was working a full-time adult job.
Yeah, starring in movies and headlining her own Nickelodeon television franchise, Drew Jackson, VP. And I always picture the life of a child star, like living inside a soundproof glass bubble.
That is such a vivid way to put it.
Right, because everyone on the outside can see you perfectly. They're pointing, they're waving, they're taking your picture.
But you cannot hear them.
And you certainly can't reach out and touch them. Keke felt completely isolated. She had one real friend, a girl named Taylor.
Just one.
Just one. And Taylor tells her about this guy on early MySpace who reliably picks up his little brother from school every day.
And the normalcy of that image is what totally captivated her.
Yeah.
She wasn't looking for another young actor or like a pop star who understood Hollywood.
She was drawn to a grounded, regular kid doing a chore for his family.
Yeah.
That mundane reality was the exact thing her life was starved of.
So Keke, acting like literally any teenager in the mid-2000s, tracks him down on MySpace.
As you do.
Right? And they start talking. Early MySpace wasn't just a social network for her. It was her single, vital window to a normal teenage experience.
They became digital pen pals. And the connection grew so strong, she begged her parents to let them meet in person, and he became her first real love.
The memories she shared in her tribute are incredibly specific, too.
Yeah, sharing her first real kiss in a backyard.
Attending Bible school together, going to parties his mom hosted in a town called Montclair.
She shared this beautiful detail about marathon teenage phone calls, too.
Oh, I loved that part.
Right. They would be on the line for hours, feet kicked up, just talking about nothing, until Brandon's mom had to physically get on the phone and tell Keke she needed to hang up because it was getting so late.
It is just a deeply endearing picture of adolescent innocence.
And the industry recognized the purity of that loss. You saw massive names, Demi Lovato, Kelly Rowland, Taraji P. Henson, flooding her comments with condolences.
But beneath all that celebrity support, King highlighted a devastatingly universal lesson.
She did. She admitted that over the last few years, she kept telling herself she needed to go see Brandon, to check in on him, and she never made the trip.
Which is so heartbreaking.
She wrote, "Life goes by so fast. Don't forget to tell people you love them. You never know when you won't get another chance."
That misconnection is such a heavy emotional toll. It forces a reckoning with how we all prioritize our time.
But wait until you hear what was happening behind the scenes during this exact same era.
Because this is where the story takes a really dark turn.
It does. Because if we look at the timeline, this sweet, innocent escape into normalcy with Brandon was happening simultaneously with a much darker reality.
Yeah, while she was desperately seeking out a regular teenage boy on MySpace, her new memoir, Master of Me, reveals that her adolescence was fraught with a completely hidden, highly problematic romance.
In her book, Keke discloses that at age 15, she began dating a 20-year-old man.
And this relationship lasted for 5 years.
Which is just wild to think about.
She kept it entirely hidden from the press, the public, and shockingly, even from her own parents.
A 15-year-old and a 20-year-old. The numerical gap is 5 years, but developmentally.
Developmentally, it is a canyon.
You are talking about a high school sophomore and someone old enough to be a junior in college.
Right.
And her rationalization for this at the time is fascinating. She felt that because she was working a full-time job and carrying the financial weight of a television show, boys her own age wouldn't get her.
She felt she needed an older guy.
Which makes me wonder, do we as a society accidentally groom child actors for exploitation?
Oh, that is a big question.
We constantly praise them for acting like adults. We put them in designer clothes, we have them do press junkets with adult vocabularies, and we just marvel at their professionalism.
Are we tricking them into believing they are emotionally ready for a 20-year-old partner when they really just have an adult vocabulary but the emotional processing power of a child?
Exactly.
Well, I'd argue it's not just the praise that creates the danger. Plenty of child performers receive that validation and emerge with healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
The real catalyst for this kind of dynamic is the complete absence of a peer group.
The isolation.
Yes, the isolation is the culprit. Keke was surrounded almost exclusively by adults. Many of those adults relied on her financially.
Paying an adult's mortgage at 15.
Right. When your entire daily ecosystem consists of adults, and you are literally paying an adult's bills, it is completely logical that you would falsely believe you belong in adult romantic relationships.
The industry didn't just groom her with praise, it starved her of actual childhood peers to benchmark her own maturity against.
That makes perfect sense. The environment completely stripped away her baseline for what was normal.
And Keke provides this incredible retrospective analysis in her memoir. She writes that she justified the relationship as feeling mature back then. But looking back, the power dynamic harmed her deeply.
Her exact quote is chilling. She said she didn't have the language or the strength to accept that who her ex met was a child.
Wow.
She simply didn't have the psychological tools to define her own vulnerability.
And carrying a secret of that magnitude for 5 years stunts your emotional growth.
Oh, absolutely. When you hide a massive part of your life from your parents and your friends, you remove all of your safety nets.
You have no sounding board to tell you if a partner's behavior is toxic, manipulative, or inappropriate. You are entirely reliant on the older partner's definition of reality.
And she lived in that distorted reality for years. In the book, she explains it took until her late 20s to finally figure out how she deserved to be treated.
And to experience what she called genuine love with a man named Darius Jackson.
She finally learned what it felt like to be loved back with mutual respect.
Right. But later in the episode, we will talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming with that relationship.
Oh, the Vegas incident?
Yes. So stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you do not miss what is coming next, because this completely blew up the internet.
It really created an incredibly painful transition in her life story.
It did. The hidden trauma of her teenage years was replaced by an entirely new, incredibly public trauma in her adulthood.
It is the ultimate cruel irony. Keke finds genuine love. They welcome a beautiful son, Leotis, in early 2023.
She has finally built the safe harbor she was denied as a teenager.
And then we hit July 2023. Keke attends Usher's wildly popular Las Vegas residency.
She's wearing a stunning sheer dress over a black bodysuit. Usher comes into the audience, approaches Keke, and sings to her.
They dance. She enjoys the moment. It goes viral.
But then her then-boyfriend, the father of her child, Darius Jackson, goes on Twitter. He quote tweets a video of her dancing and writes 7 words. "It's the outfit, though, you a mom."
Those 7 words completely derailed the internet.
It wasn't just celebrity gossip anymore. That tweet became a massive Rorschach test for the internet.
Everyone who looked at that video and read that criticism saw their own personal grievances reflected back at them.
It triggered a massive proxy war regarding modern motherhood versus personal autonomy.
The societal mechanics of the reaction were fascinating. If a user felt traditional family structures and respect were eroding, they fiercely defended Darius.
Right.
But if a user felt that society constantly and unfairly polices women's bodies the second they give birth, stripping them of their sexuality and individuality, they rallied behind Keke.
People weren't really arguing about Keke Palmer. They were using her relationship as a blank canvas to project their own deeply held political and social beliefs.
And the fallout for Keke was microscopic public scrutiny.
For years, she explicitly stated in interviews, like with Harper's Bazaar, that she kept her private life strictly separate from her professional life.
She said, "Fame makes you paranoid. You
Yeah.
never know if people like you or for your proximity to power."
She kept romance hidden to protect her self-esteem. But suddenly, in the blink of an eye, the vault doors to her private life were kicked open.
Her personal romantic conflict was the biggest cultural talking point in the world.
She was stripped of the very boundary she spent a decade building.
So how does someone who wrote a book called Master of Me reclaim control when her private life is plastered across the internet?
She turns the drama into art.
Exactly. She creates this massive visual album called Just Keke.
Instead of releasing a PR statement, she funnels the entire Vegas incident and the subsequent breakup into an 18-track project.
But what is the psychological weight of choosing to do that? When your private pain is forcefully plastered across the internet, why respond with a highly produced album?
I think it is a mechanism of survival through transmutation. When trauma is forced into the public sphere, you lose control of the narrative. By turning it into art, she is reclaiming her agency.
She co-executive produced this album with Taylor Parks, who is an absolute powerhouse.
Oh, Taylor has written massive, culturally defining hits for Ariana Grande, Khalid, Dua Lipa.
Together, they designed a project that doesn't just passively react to the gossip, it weaponizes it.
And to understand the scale of this, we need to clarify for you guys what a visual album actually is. It is not just a collection of songs you stream on your phone.
Right, a visual album means every single track is accompanied by a highly produced, interconnected short film or music video.
It is a massive financial and creative undertaking. She is putting a visual face to every single emotion she processed during this breakup.
The track list reads like a roadmap through the stages of grief. You have the initial anger in songs like 125 Degrees and Off Script.
But the centerpiece that brilliantly addresses the Las Vegas catalyst head-on is a track called My Confession.
That song is incredible. It relies on a musical technique called interpolation.
Yeah, for anyone unfamiliar, an interpolation is different from a sample. Instead of just taking the original audio recording of a song and looping it in the background, Keke actually re-recorded the core melody of Usher's iconic hit Confessions Part 2.
She took the very DNA of the artist who is singing to her in Las Vegas, and she tweaked the lyrics to make it entirely her own.
It is a brilliant, tongue-in-cheek nod to the exact incident that sparked the firestorm.
It shows she still has her sense of humor, but she also strips back that cleverness to show profound vulnerability. On the ballad, unless it's you, she belts out the raw pain of the lost relationship.
And the lyrics in the track, Misunderstood, are incredibly revealing. She sings, "Don't you see me throwing out a lifeline? You too busy pinning me the bad guy."
She goes on, "Maybe we ain't doing what we should, or maybe we're just misunderstood."
She is begging to be seen as a complex human being, not just a character in a Twitter debate.
But this brings up a really fascinating dilemma for you listening right now.
Yeah, Keke gave an interview stating that writing this album was about finding closure.
But By addressing a painful private breakup so masterfully in a heavily marketed, monetized visual album, does she actually get that closure?
That's the question. Once you sell tickets to the show of your personal life, can you ever close the curtain again?
Does monetizing the drama permanently invite the public into your bedroom?
It is the eternal tightrope walk of the modern artist. By turning the pain into a product, she is taking back the profit and the power from the gossip blogs that were capitalizing on her misery.
But you are absolutely right. It permanently blurs the boundary between the personal and the performative.
Once the audience feels they have a stake in your real-life romantic plotlines, they expect the sequel.
However, Keek seems to be navigating this new reality with her resilience totally intact. She noted that her focus is entirely on her son, Leotis, and her rapidly expanding career.
And her career is genuinely on fire right now. She is starring alongside Eddie Murphy in an upcoming film called The Pickup.
She is leading Peacock's television adaptation of the classic movie The Burbs.
She just joined the cast of the highly anticipated Spaceballs 2.
Incredible.
And as for her love life, she told People magazine she has completely changed her type. She joked that she doesn't want anyone much older anymore, and guys her own age in the entertainment industry don't always understand her life.
She says she is now looking for a Steve Urkel kind of guy.
Yes. She wants someone who makes dad jokes, sitcom jokes, a regular funny guy who just appreciates her.
It is a profound full circle moment. After surviving the exploitation of an older man in her youth and the intense public scrutiny of a high-profile partner in her adulthood,
She is essentially looking for the grown-up version of that grounded, regular guy she sought out on MySpace when she was 16.
someone completely outside the Hollywood machinery who just makes her smile.
The arc we have explored today is staggering. We started with the heartbreaking loss of a pure, innocent teenage connection with Brandon.
We unpacked the dark, manipulative shadows of an adolescent relationship she had to hide from the world.
We analyzed the highly scrutinized, incredibly public adult heartbreak that shattered her desire for privacy.
And finally, we saw how that pain birthed a powerful artistic reclamation of her own story through Just Keke.
She survived the unique, isolating psychological gauntlet of child stardom and managed to emerge on the other side with her voice and her laugh completely intact.
Which brings us to a final thought for you to mull over.
For years, Keke Palmer believed that the only way to survive the paranoia of fame was to keep her vulnerabilities locked away in a vault.
She fiercely protected her private life.
Yet, it was only when those vault doors were kicked open against her will, and she was forced to pour her most private romantic grief into a public album, that she fully realized her own artistic power.
It leaves you wondering, does true control of your personal narrative actually come from fiercely hiding your vulnerabilities in the dark?
Or does true control only arrive when you bravely put those vulnerabilities on display for the entire world to sing along to?
The answer might just define how we all handle our own personal crises in a hyper-connected world.
Something to think about the next time you see a polished celebrity smile on your feed. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in, and do not forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.
Catch you next time.